Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our board meeting. And Mr. Weber, if we could have a roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Fallis? Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
And Mr. Williams?
Yes, here. At this time, Pledge of Allegiance, and sir.
Superintendent Mr. Tucker, Treasurer Mr. Weber, Board President Mr. Williams, and distinguished board members. Tonight we have a student from Garfield Elementary who will lead the Pledge of Allegiance. Kaylin Jones is a sixth grade student. She is the daughter of Cassie Carter and Reginald Scott. She has one sister who is a kindergarten student. After the pledge, Kaylin will be sharing the Garfield Pledge and how it ties to the word of the month. Ms. Barb Kapuzinski, principal of Garfield, is here tonight to support her student. Kaylin. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At Garfield Elementary, we work on one character trait a month. If we are found doing these traits, we are thanked by a student or a staff member. We then receive a responsible or respectful slip, fill it out, put it in a box in the cafeteria. On each Friday, 10 students are recognized for being a good citizen. This month, we are working on being responsible team players. Ms. K challenged each of us to live at the third level of responsibility. Doing that would mean being the best person that I could be, giving compliments to others, working to get on honor roll, receiving team player award at the quarter, congratulating others when they do well, helping younger students, treating all people equally, and seeing the needs of others and responding to them without being asked. Each day, we end our morning announcements with the Garfield Pledge. It reminds us of all the character traits that we are learning. I'd like to share it with you right now. Who I am and who I will be, it's all inside of me. I am kind, I am thoughtful, I am respectful and responsible. I have my own talent and I share those with others. I will do my best, honor differences in all people, and do all of the tasks given to me. I am responsible for myself, my words, and my actions. I will succeed. I am a Garfield Gator.
This time I'd like for our parents, please stand. Mom. We'd like to thank you for your help and hard work and for choosing Lorain City Schools. And we have a certificate for Caitlin as well. Super to Ms. Tucker. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Tonight we also have Volunteer Month as well as in April. We have over 100 volunteers within our Lorain City School District. They perform duties from cafeteria duty to reviewing flashcards for some of our students. Tonight we have Melissa Santiago from Palm Elementary School here to receive a certificate as well, and one of our proud volunteers for Lorain City Schools. I'd like to give a round of applause. On behalf of the board, Lorain City Schools, we'd like to thank you for all your help and hard work. Thank you. I'd like to turn it back over to Board President, Mr. Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Hall. At this time, I guess we would entertain our first hearing of the public. Any individuals who would like to address the board, we welcome you at this time. As you know the protocol, please state your name, and after you're finished, you can write in that in your little.
Okay, thank you. My name is Ann Duche. My address is 554 Ogden Drive, Elyria, Ohio, 44035. I am a retired art teacher, and I am here with a response from Mr. Tucker, who created a letter responding to the 3 questions that I've been asking. And I would like to read the responses and then respond to the letter, if I may. The letter reads, Dear Ms. Duché, I am writing in response to your concerns from the March 26th board meeting. I will address each concern listed on the sign-in sheet. What about the return of the fine arts programs? The return of fine arts is an area we are looking to reinstate. With both of our backgrounds being in the arts, we know the value of fine arts in a child's education. While the passage of the levy was crucial to the financial health of the district, it was not enough to reinstate all programs. At this time, the district still faces a budget shortfall for the year. With adjustments this year, we should be able to make up the difference. Over 60% of Lorain City Schools funding comes from the state of Ohio. The legislature is currently working on budget for next year, and their deadline is June 30th. We are hopeful once we know our allocation, fine arts programming can be reinstated. In addition, the Academic Distress Commission will have oversight on our programming. Why cut curricular subjects before extracurricular? Last year, the board and superintendent made a number of decisions for the financial stability of the district. Anytime reductions are made, difficult choices are made. I was not involved in the discussions, but many fine arts programs were maintained at the upper grade levels. Reductions were made in extracurricular programs, but some were maintained as well. I believe they tried to strike a balance between the programs. Why offer bonuses to administrators at the same time cutting programs for students? I was not in the district last year, but have been informed no bonuses were given. As many people left the district during the school year, jobs were combined and stipends were given to a few who assumed additional job duties. The stipends ended this year. Thank you for your interest in returning fine arts to the district. Sincerely, Thomas Tucker. Thank you very much for your response. I truly appreciate that. And I do need to make an apology to the board. It seems that my term of choice bonuses is inaccurate and misleading, that a more correct description of the money that was allocated to administrators were negotiated benefits. So my apologies for that. It's not my intention to mislead anyone, but simply restore fine arts to the district. I know that the Academic Commission met yesterday for the first time, and I know that they are being charged with a responsibility to come up with a plan that will improve the district in its academic success. And I need to emphasize the importance of bringing the fine arts back for that purpose. I also need to remind you that a budget is an expression of values, and to allocate money to anything other than what our students will benefit from directly is, in my opinion, a miscarriage of justice to the students that we are trying to educate. So as we go forward as a district, I urge that the fine arts not only be restored, their funding be restored, and that the fine arts be expanded so that all students may benefit at earlier ages with adequate facilities, with adequate funding, and with adequate experiences for their own growth. And I thank you very much.
Thank you. Any others who would like to address the board? We do appreciate input and feedback from citizens and whoever else would like to. So there will be a second opportunity later in the meeting if you so choose to take advantage. This time, can we have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular board meeting held on April 9th, 2013?
Motion to approve or amend the signed minutes of the regular board meeting.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Weber, roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
I was absent at the last meeting, so I abstain.
And Mr. Williams.
Yes. Thank you. Is there any old business for discussion? Then we will move forward with Mr. Weber and the recommendations and report from the treasurer.
Yes, there are 5 items on my agenda and a couple of things to think through. I'd like to take items 1, 2, 3, and 4 as a separate vote. And item 5 has 3 donations on it. If you call them A, B, and C, it's A is donation of clothes, shoes, and toys, B is donation of bottle of water, and C is donation of property. I'd like to take item A and B separately. Item C, donation of property, with the last vote. So to go back to item 1, March 2013 financial reports, standard reports. We have once a month at the end of the month. Item 2 is purchase orders needing Board of Education approval. Item 3 is a software license agreement for the printings. We can print our paychecks and payables checks back at the treasurer's office. Item 4 is the resolution from the Lorain County Auditor accepting the amounts and rates, the tax rates for the year. And it's a standard thing we do every April. So nothing on here is unusual. So I would recommend the board for approval items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Motion to approve items 1 through 4.
Second.
Any discussion, gentlemen?
Just a question. Are you still, that gets to item 1. Are you still on, are your forecasts or projections from November of 2012 pretty much still where we are, where you think we're heading?
Yes, I still think we're on target to be slightly above 0, and maybe even a little bit better than that, but we'll know more. I think there's an important revenue piece coming in May, which I think is going to help us too. So we're on target for the 12-13 fiscal year.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Williams.
Yes.
So next for approval, I'm recommending is item 5A and B, which is donation of clothes, shoes, and toys, and donation of bottled water and mints.
Motion to approve item 5A and B.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Demakia,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Now for 5C, just to be probably super clean about it, we probably should have a motion to amend 5C to say all the things on charitable donation of property located at 1930 West 19th Street, Lorain, Ohio, from Goodman Real Estate LLC to be used by Lorain City School District for warehouse purposes per attached donation agreement. Because we have an agreement for that, which is pretty clean.
Motion to amend.
Oh, it hasn't been made yet. Just make the motion as what he said. There's no motion.
Okay. Motion to approve item C as amended.
Yes,
Second.
Any other discussion, gentlemen?
Well, I don't think we can leave this go without discussion. As Mr. Lillywall remembers from his days on the board, our warehouse has been slowly falling apart. And through the goodness of the Goodman family, I guess Tom Beer does pay, they are giving us their former property. I drove by there this evening. It's over on West 19th Street. It is huge. And Mr. Hawks, who has inspected the property, says it is in move-in shape, except for some things I believe you said our maintenance people can do. It is an exceptional gift at a time when it's desperately needed. It's within easy walking distance of here. It's just right over on the other side of 21st. Fenced in, good shape. So I'm exceptionally pleased that we are getting this gift at this time.
I was really impressed with the loading docks, and I think that's it is a unique property, and I'd like to thank the Goodman family. I mean, it fits in well with the complex because of its logistics and everything. So appreciate that.
I just wish Mr. Hawks a good walk over to the new warehouse. Every day.
Well, I guess there was enough said about that. Well, at this time, gentlemen.
Oh, there will be one thing, let me just add, I mentioned this to her. We will, as soon as we have to take possession, Mr. Hawks, you will have to take the sign off the business door. Otherwise, people will think, the sign reads, what did I tell you that I read? Wholesale liquor dealer.
Yeah, we're hoping that during the cleanup that everything that was there was...
That could help increase to it. That could increase enrollment.
Well, can we bring this to a vote then?
Please.
Roll call, please.
Item 5C, per attached donation agreement, Mr. Demakia.
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
And Mr. Williams.
Yes.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Weber. At this time, we would have the report and recommendations of the superintendent. Mr. Tucker, please.
A, personnel matters. Item 1, approval of discontinuances. A, which is retirements listed under A and B for certified and support. Item 2, new appointments, substitute teachers. And item 3, approval of leave of absences is listed. So I ask for approval of items 1, 2, and 3.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Sturgill.
Yes.
Mr. Demakia.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
And Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Item 4, approval, recommendation, renewal of employment contracts. These are for teachers. These are statutorily required. The first one is a tenure, and they've met all the requirements as per Ohio Revised Code. And B is your annual 1 year. I was asked that I should have salaries on there. This hasn't been the procedure in the past, and it was requested too late to get on this particular agenda. But I can tell you that the amount for A is, and it will in future agendas. I have no problem putting that on. Item 4A is $179,811. Item B is $2,250,211 for a total of $2,430,022. These are renewal contracts that teachers already hold that are currently employed here. So I ask for approval of item 4.
Motion to approve item 4.
Second.
Discussion?
Tom, would you mind repeating those numbers again?
Sure. Item A is $179,811.
Okay.
Item B is $2,250,211.
Okay, then a question for Mr. Weber.
Mm-hmm.
In that forecast, or I guess that's the best word for it, you are showing a $1.1+ million deficit for 2014.
Right. Fiscal year 2013-14, correct.
That was assuming 25 fewer teachers, 8 fewer support staff, and an $815,000 reduction in administrative expenses.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My question then is, I know in some cases contracts have to be certified by the treasurer, and you couldn't certify a contract if you didn't believe the money was going to be there?
An aggregate collective bargaining agreement contract. Okay. That's right.
But that's not what this is.
That's not what this is.
So these will not require your...
Not individual approval,
okay.
No.
And these are annual renewals that are required by law unless they're specifically non-renewed for a reason, and what you're referring to would be a RIF situation.
Which I'm glad you mentioned, because my next question was to you, Mr. Tucker. This does not preclude further reductions in force. In other words, if by issuing a 1-year limited contract, if necessity called for it, these teachers could be laid off.
They're subject to the contracted agreement for RIF bargaining. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Any other discussion, gentlemen? Thank you, Mr. Smith. And we are now ready for a roll call, please, Mr. Weber.
Mr. Demakia,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
and Mr. Williams.
Yes.
B, operation matters, item 5. This is approval of a contract for DJ. This has to do for the elementary buildings, which is student activity fund expense. Item 6 is approval of a contract for services delivered. This is for family presentation at Stephen Dohanis. This is part of the family presentations at all the buildings, which is a Title I grant. Item 7, approval of a contract for services delivered. This is also for 4 presentations, part of Title I student activity. Item 8, contract. These and the next ones are annual renewals that we do. This is approval of a contract for occupation and physical therapy services for the Children's Development Center, and this is an IDEAB flow-through money for those services. Item 9 is a renewal of a contract to provide autological services for our students, and you can see there, and this is a special education grant expenditure. Item 10 is approval of a renewal with Easter Seals, Northwestern Ohio, for speech pathology services, and these are for the auxiliary schools. This is a flow-through money that we approve for us for those particular schools. Item 11 is a renewal of agreement with the Developmental Disabilities Board for services for the students that are eligible, and these are for our students that are placed at Murray Ridge. Item 12 is an agreement with Lorain County Board of Mental Retardation and DD, and this is for the same thing for the Head Start Collaborative and also for the preschool age children that are placed there. Item 13, this is an annual agreement where we enter into for payment of educational costs for various district students. These are foster place students and students outside the district that we are responsible by law to pay those districts for their education. And item 14 is a contract with the Educational Service Center. That's the one on Lake Avenue. They provide a number of services throughout the year for us, and it's an annual contract. And item 15 is a multi-agreement with North Point Educational Service Centers. In the old days, you contracted with your local county. Now it isn't that way. You use whatever services for each educational service center that they have. North Point happens to reside in Erie County. We do most of our services through Lorain County ESC. So I ask for approval of Operation Matters B, items 5 through 15.
Motion to approve item 5 through 15.
Second.
Is there any discussion or questions, gentlemen?
I just think it's important to note that only item 15 is a general fund expense. 5 through 14 are not.
Thank you. Mr. Smith?
Well, 13 probably is.
It depends on what type of students those are. If they're special needs, there's some there. For majority of them, they are, because they pay whether their students are in our district or out of our districts. It's kind of a form of open enrollment that these are court placed and,
right,
and other placed students.
And on the same token, then, Mr. Tucker.
We have some who are here.
Yes.
Yes, correct. We have
children coming
placed
here from other districts.
Yep, that is
when
correct.
Children's Services, usually through the courts, remove a child from the parent's home, the residents of those parents that community is responsible.
That's correct.
For educating those children wherever they go to school. So if we had a child who, say, lived in Elyria but was removed and put in foster care in Lorain, and Jane, you work on this all the time, then we would be reimbursed by Elyria and vice versa. So it's
yeah. At the end of the year, there's contracts sent out to all districts. We have them placed all over the state of Ohio.
Any more discussion, gentlemen? Mr. Weber, may we have a roll call, please?
Items 5 through 15, Mr. Demakia,
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
yes.
and Mr. Williams.
Yes.
Completes my recommendations.
Is there any new business that we would like to discuss? I guess I would formally like to welcome the Academic Distress Commission from the Ohio Department of Education, who will be assisting us in making the improvements that we so all desire. And they had their first meeting on yesterday, very much of an organizational type meeting, and they will be communicating with us as a board sometime in the very near future. But we would like to formally extend welcome to the district, and we look forward to working cooperatively with all sectors. There were representation from the union who spoke yesterday at their meeting, pledging their cooperation, and I think that's the best thing going forward, is that we enter in this arrangement, this relationship, as cooperatively as possible. And just to reassure the citizens that you have not lost your elected officials. We will be assisted, we will be helped, and we very much embrace this relationship because we know this is what's best for students, and we all want the same thing. With that said, are there any committee reports or requests from board members?
I do have a request or a question for Mr. Tucker, if I may.
Yes.
In researching 3119.11 for the items of the teachers.
Yeah, that's the teacher.
All right, I now find there's a 3119.111.
Yeah, that's always been there.
Okay, and that has a deadline of July 1st, 2013 for teacher evaluation policy adopted by the board. And my question is, are you and your staff beginning work on that policy?
Actually, it's a twofold. 3319.11, 3319.111 has been in statute forever, and it was the old bargaining, the old evaluation system, which we're still under this year. Starting next year, we'll be under the new system, which is June 1st. There will be a policy before the board, which is required by law. I believe it's by July 1. There's a number of policies you will be adopting, and you'll be getting that with some preliminary information. The policy on you're talking about the OTAS. It's the Ohio Teacher Evaluation System. It's an interesting conundrum around the state, so we say, and there will be more information. Believe me, we're not going to be the only board that's going to be dealing with this.
And from past recent conversations with Mr. Tucker, we will be convening the policy committee, and so many of those will probably be previewed.
Yes, if you want to go, if anyone's really interested, you go on the website, Ohio School Boards Association, I believe also ODE. There's sample policies. They're very long and very involved. And if you're interested, have at it. But the answer to that is yes, by policy. It'll come through the committee.
Any other requests?
Yeah, just one that just popped into what mind I have left. Recently, someone did an excellent job through the OSBA of refining our policy manual and shrinking it considerably. I was reading through that today. I thought I read in there a recommendation from the OSBA that the board formally adopt that manual. Is that
what's occurring? Actually, Section A is ready for the committee, and Section B is almost done to completely redo them, and they will all be either the changes to bring them up currently, or they will be reviewed, because some never change, but they'll be reviewed with this date. We're going to go through each section individually. A and B are done, and like I said, we should have that committee sometime very quickly. But the answer is yes, that has been a neglected area that we've jumped right in on.
Thank you. Gentlemen, anyone else? Do we have Browns fans here? I'm just wondering, I know that's kind of off but just kind of, are you Browns fans? I was wondering, because I didn't see the Titan color, or I didn't see scarlet and gray or maize and blue. Anyway.
You're welcome here.
Go Browns. By the way, who's going to be the I'm sorry, we'll get to that after the meeting. Okay, we would entertain a second hearing of the public at this time. And again, even if you have nice things to say, feel free to come up and say something nice. We appreciate nice things, too. No takers. Okay, well, I guess at this stage we are about completed our business. And our next board meeting will be
May 14th, 6:30 p.m., room 33.
6:30 p.m., room 33, Charleston. And also, so you know on your calendar, May 20th at 4 p.m.
Correct.
In this room will be the next meeting of the the Academic Distress Commission. I was reluctant to announce it because they will announce their own meetings, but since you all are here, we'll extend that courtesy. And the protocol for those announcements are the same as ours. They'll be in the newspaper, it'll be on the website, and hopefully very soon they will set probably an entire calendar year of meetings. One of the challenges is, folks just found out, so they got to do some schedule adjusting. So, but May 20th is that meeting at 4 p.m. here in room 33. If there's nothing else, may we have a motion for adjournment?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Demakia?
Yes.
Mr. Sturgill?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Williams?
Yes. Thank you, everyone. Good evening.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.